I'm a Muslim mother and I have a question regarding my son. My son has a health problem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure him. And we have sent him to a doctor, but he doesn't listen to what the doctor has told him regarding his health, which is not always a bad thing, to be honest with you, my sister. He makes an excuse that Islam comes before the health of a person. Should a Muslim take care of his health? Yes, he should. But that doesn't mean that you should listen to every doctor that tells you what to do. You shouldn't. You should look for different opinions. Because the term doctor here, when it is used in this country, refers to one who is following conventional medicine. The medicine that he has learned at university from a particular direction. So the way that they have been taught, as Sheikh Al-Albani has pointed out, and many of the scholars before them, even Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, that they believe that if you have a particular illness, there is a particular protocol that you must follow to cure that illness. And if you do not, you will get worse or you will die. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned that this approach would not be uttered except by the one who is the most ignorant of the people. To claim that there is only one approach to curing an ailment or an illness is the peak of ignorance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made many, many avenues open to cure a person. Ruqya can cure a person. Look at the man who was bit by the scorpion, stung by the scorpion in the time of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was cured by ruqya, and he was a mushrik. He wasn't even a Muslim. In the other narration, there was a chief of a mushrik, of a pagan tribe. Hadith in Bukhari. And he was majnoon. He was suffering from insanity. So this narration mentions stung by a scorpion. The other narration mentions that he had junoon. He was insane. So what did the Sahaba do? Both of them pagans, mushriks. They recited Fatiha. And both of them were cured in both narrations from Surah Al-Fatiha. So therefore, that's one route. What about Zamzam? Prophet ﷺ said, Zamzam is a cure. And Zamzam is for whatever it is drunk. If you drink Zamzam and make dua that Allah gives you ilmun nafi', like Abdullah ibn Abbas used to do, then Allah will give you ilmun nafi'. Allah will give you beneficial knowledge, inshaAllah. Zamzam is drunk for the one who is empty, he's hungry. Because the Prophet ﷺ said it is a food, it's a nourishing food. What about Ajwa? The dates of Medina. Prophet ﷺ, what he mentioned, if a person who has 7 of them in a day in the morning, then he'll be protected till the evening from poison. What about the fresh milk? When the Prophet ﷺ said that it is a cure for every sickness except death, because the cattle, meaning the cows, they feed upon every green herbage. Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, milk can cure. He said it is a shifa. It is a cure for every illness, the Prophet ﷺ said, the drinking of milk. Same thing he said about Habbatul Sauda, the black seed. It is a cure for every illness except death. Look at all of these routes of cure. Then there are other cures that the people, they know through experience throughout the years. There's a particular seed that they have in the Indian subcontinent, that when a person has illness in his stomach, he feels stomach cramps or digestive issues, they give him these seeds, they're called ajwain. A person takes them and his stomach gets calmed. It actually cures, it's curative. How many types of herbs that you know from your forefathers, from your mothers, from your grandparents? And they'll tell you, in our village we used to do this, in our town we used to do this. Try it. And you think, oh, that's old wives' tales. They're not old wives' tales. Someone came to Shaykh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala. They said, Ya Shaykh, there is a village not far from us. And there is a well in that village where the people gather around and they bring their sick children to it. Because they find that when they take the water out of the well and they apply it upon the skin of their children, it cures them from eczema and other skin conditions. Ya Shaykh, some of the people have told us that this is superstition and we should stay away from it. Is this correct? He said, this is batil. Go to it. Water is a cure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put cure in Zamzam. Allah will put cures into other types of water. The best of the water of the earth is the Zamzam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not restricted cure to only that. There are other types of water. Allah sends down rain from the sky. The dead of the earth, they grow from it. The earth looks dead. And through that water, Allah gives life to the dead in the earth, He mentioned. He said, take your children to it. Look at the types of cures. Honey. When the man came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, my brother has an ailment in his stomach. Fi batnihi. He said, give him honey. Comes back the next day. He said, I gave him honey. He's got even worse. He said, give him honey. So he took honey again and he came back the next day. He said, it's not cured him. He's got even worse. Came back the third day, the same thing, the fourth day. He said, the belly of your brother has lied. Wa sadaq Allah, and Allah has spoken the truth. Give him honey. So he gave him honey and he was cured. Ibn Qayyim said, why? He said, because any treatment that you give to a person, you shouldn't expect the cure overnight, even if that cure is mentioned in the prophetic narrations. Like honey, black seed, milk, ajwa, zamzam, senna. How many hadith are mentioned of various types of cures? You shouldn't expect, I've taken 1 teaspoon of honey, khalas, that will cure everything. No, it didn't happen to that man. You have to take it up until the cure is achieved. And the people who are experts in this type of medicine, those who have studied this affair, they will tell you how much to take and what to combine it with, when to take it. Olive oil, like the Prophet ﷺ used to use to anoint himself, used to massage, put it into his beard. So how many things that we can use? What about the fruit of the earth? The vegetables of the earth? Are they not curative? Are they not nutritional? Do they not ward off harm? Is everything inside of a pill? A pill for every ill, as they say? Just go to the doctor, keep taking the pills. But don't give up your gulab jamun and your cakes. Don't give up all of these sweets, just keep taking the metformin, because you've got diabetes. So the pill just basically, just cover or conceal the illness underneath. So because that's what all these drugs do. What is this drug doing? Is it curative? Most drugs aren't curative. In fact, the vast majority, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but it will be well over 90% of all drugs that are given to you are just, they just deal with the outward symptoms. They're symptomatic. So they're just combating the outward symptoms. You got a headache, take a tablet. Got this illness, then take that tablet. You got blood pressure, get a blood pressure lowering tablet. Don't change your diet. Don't change the way that you live. Don't do exercise. Don't change the nutrition that you're taking. Carry on eating that deep fried food and that deep fried chicken and that deep fried potato. Keep eating it and keep having all of these heavily carbed, high sugar diets. And anything that's green, run away from it. Right? And you think that the tablet is going to... And that's why people in their 60s and 70s on 15, 20 tablets a day. Who's benefiting from that? They're not. Because they're still suffering chronic illnesses. The diabetes hasn't gone away. The blood pressure hasn't gone away. The pain in their knees hasn't gone away. The swelling in their ankles hasn't gone away. The pain when they wake up every morning in all of their joints. And when they visit their bathroom, it's painful for them. It doesn't go away. These tablets, all they do is they just conceal them for a few hours. And the more painkillers that you take, the more it happens. Who's benefiting from that? Big pharma. Big pharmaceutical companies. Big pharma is the ones who are benefiting from that. So what do? We use the aql a bit more. We're not saying discard any of that. If you have a broken leg, then don't think that you're going to go home and, have some coriander seeds and you'll be fine in the morning from a broken leg. You won't be. You need surgery. You need to go to a hospital. You need that, you need that repair. You need their help. Right? There is such a thing as infection control that they're good at. There are things that they're good at. But they are not gods, even though they behave like that sometimes in these Western lands, because they reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Western medicine. It's not like the medicine of the Muslim countries where there is some foundation to their medicine, that they trust in Allah and they believe in Allah. But in the Western lands, it's built upon atheism. It's not built upon trusting God and trusting Allah. That's why everything has to have an answer in science. So if your son is refusing to listen to the doctor, then I don't say don't listen to him. I don't say don't listen to the doctor. I say go and look for alternatives as well. For example, for cancer. Don't just go to the doctor and listen to everything that he's got to say, and within 72 hours you're being operated upon and being given high-dose chemotherapy or radiotherapy. No, go out and look for alternatives. They are there. There are other treatments out there. Like the Gerson therapy is out there. GMAF is out there. There are other therapies that you can look into. I'm not saying outright reject. I'm saying open your eyes and don't believe that everything that is said by the doctor, that it is the only way. It may be one of the ways. It may be one of the pathways. It may be beneficial. It may not be. But don't just put everything. Go and speak to other experts. Look at the examples that I've given. Doctors won't speak like this because they'll be struck off. They'll be struck off. There's a particular pathway that they have to follow. If a person comes in with cancer, you cannot tell them about, intravenous vitamin C, for example, high dose, straight into the blood supply as a curative or as a therapy at least that will help with cancer. They're not allowed to tell you that. And they won't direct you in that way, even though it's proven to be therapeutic for cancer patients. If not curative, as some people have claimed. Some scientists, prominent scientists, have claimed, like Patrick Holford and others. These are people who have used these types of therapies. But if you go to your doctor, they can't do that because it's not part of the approved drug treatment for cancer. Gerson therapy is not the approved drug treatment for cancer. And there are 8 or 9 or 15 other types of therapies that can be used for cancer. But it will never be recommended by your doctor because he's not allowed. Even if you believed it, he's not allowed. He's not allowed to tell you that this is another therapy. So prevention is better than cure. So fix up your diets. So you don't have to go to them. So you don't have to take a pill every morning and evening or 15 a day. If you've got grandparents or parents, many of them will be taking 10, 12 drugs a day. And they won't travel. They won't go to Umrah unless they've got a briefcase full of their drugs that are going to last them for 2 weeks. Why? Because they've spent their whole life not being taught about nutrition. They've been taught that, you can just have sugar, enjoy yourselves, go on, look at all the marketing for fizzy drinks, sugary drinks. Where do you think that's going to lead to at the age of 40 and 50? Except diabetes, type 2 diabetes, which leads on to other things. Where is it going to lead to all of that fried food? Except heart problems and brain problems and dementia. We have put so much reliance upon these so-called experts. And we've stopped listening to people who are also experts on the other side in natural therapies and health experts who will actually look after your health, because now they're looking at your body as if you're, when you open up Tibb al-Nabawi of Ibn Qayyim or of Imam al-Dhahabi or some of the writings of Imam al-Sa'di, and you read what they're saying about health, and it's far removed from what you consider to be general medical practice today. Prevention is better than cure. What you eat and what you take into your body, what you expel from your body, the amount of exercise that you do, especially women, the amount of nutrition that you're taking in, how much vitamin D are you taking into your body? You don't even know how much should be taken in because no one's ever told you. You're only told when you go to the doctor and you're about to drop dead or collapse. Then he tells you, oh, by the way, your vitamin C is a bit low or your vitamin D is a bit low. You should know that already, the effect of these vitamins. And that is a good part of science, that science is able to extract that from its sources, from its essence, and give you the vitamin C at the end, and vitamin D, and minerals such as zinc and iron. That these are the kind of things that you should be putting into your body and protecting your body from harm, so you don't have to end up going to the doctor and suffering as your parents or your grandparents suffered because they weren't taught or they were illiterate. You're not illiterate. And these things are important because preservation of life is important. The longer you live, the more you can worship Allah. So don't make haste to bring about your own destruction. Don't kill yourselves with your own hands, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions.